What's up guys, Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV, and today I am standing right next to the very first 2020 F250 Black Widow that I have ever seen, either on social media or in person, any of it. So I'm really excited to show this particular machine to you, show you what you get for your $93,000 price tag, and let me know in the comments down below if you think it's worth the money. And that is coming up next on Town & Country TV. The really cool thing about SCA Performance is they were originally a family-owned and family-operated business outside here in Trussville, Alabama. We've been knowing those guys for literally 20 years. We've been doing business with them, and even though they're no longer family-owned and operated, they are still unbelievably awesome people, and they do a really good job with their products, and they also stand behind their products, and that's one of the things that you get with that price tag that we mentioned a little bit earlier. But what I want to do now is I want to kind of show you what do you get on the front end of this truck, and we're going to work our way through it. This is suspension, and going to give you an idea of exactly what you get on this particular F250. So as I've already mentioned, this is a 2020 model, and so what you're going to get from the Ford factory is you got a different grille, different headlights, different bumpers, slightly revised hood, or maybe even not. It might even be the same hood as the previous generation, but nonetheless, this particular truck started out life is a Lariat package. There was no Lariat Sport Appearance package. So what SCA Performance did is they actually took the entire grille out, took the bumpers out, they sanded those and painted those to match the rest of the truck. The reason they did that is because they did not want to go with the Lariat Sport Appearance package. Because the Black Widow has kind of a black and a chrome theme to it, it really made a lot more sense to go this way instead of the all blacked out edition, which is the Lariat Sport Edition package. So without further ado, let's go ahead and drop down a little bit and let's take a look at the suspension, because that's probably why you're here. So this particular suspension setup is actually a 6-inch kit. Now this is proprietary. This is a kit that is made specifically for SCA Performance, and so they were able to give some certain feedbacks and some different recommendations as far as the suspension is concerned. And so what you have is a kit that is made specifically for Southern Comfort, SCA Performance. And Josh, as you come over here, I want to kind of show you a couple of the other things that they do on this kit. You can see that they actually replace the entire coil spring, and as you can see, I love the fact that it is gray instead of a solid black like the factory one is. So it looks just a little bit different than the normal other trucks. Now, as you step back for just a second, you'll see that the actual fender flares on these vehicles are going to be proprietary for SCA Performance as well. So what you'll notice is they look very similar to a bushwhacker style fender flare, the pocket style fender flare. And by the pockets, we mean these little things right here are the pockets. But you'll notice the fender flare sticks out further to cover these 37-inch mud terrains. The BFG KM3s is a brand new tire. But one of the things I like about it as well is you've got the black bolts that kind of match the rest of the truck as well. But as I mentioned to you earlier, this vehicle is just a normal Lariat package, not the Lariat Sport Appearance package. The reason for that is because the Black Widow emblem is actually chrome, and they wanted it to match the actual F250 emblem right here. And as you get even closer, you'll see that right in the other side, when you are driving down the road, you actually put amber lights behind that little grille that gives it a nice little glow that is just an extra little something that lets you know you're driving something a little different. But the other thing that I like about these particular fender flares are going to be this little, I don't know what this would actually be called, but this little piece that actually sticks out a little bit further than the rest of the fender flare to catch just a little bit more rocks. And primarily, I think it looks like a really nice design cue. One of the things, as I mentioned, I go way back with SCA Performance, talking to one of their engineers, they actually got this design off of the rear fender flares off of the Ford Raptor. And instead of just doing it in the rear, they did it in the front and on the rear on the F250 SCA Performance. Now, as we kind of come to this side, I want to show you another thing that they do is they actually give you a set of AMP running boards, AMP Research Power Deployable running boards, which is important because as you guys, if you've watched our videos ever before, you know that I'm 6'3". So this thing is massive, absolutely massive. I don't know exactly how tall it is, so I'm going to put that right there on the screen so you can see exactly how tall this thing is. And so if you've got to fit in some low decks, this might not be the truck for you. But I'm 6'3". And you can see how high my knee has to come up to actually get in the vehicle. So you can see that, you know, to get in the truck, just be prepared, because this is not a small man's truck. This is something that is designed to be big, it's designed to be different, designed to be unique. But coming around the side, I want to show you a couple of other things that they've done on the truck. Is they've painted the rear bumper to match the front bumper as well, so that's a really nice thing. Now this has nothing to do with SCA Performance, but these tail lights inside of the F250, this matte look right here, that actually houses the radar sensors for the blind spot information system. So not only can the truck tell if someone is in your blind spot, but it can also check 33 feet behind you to see if there's someone in your trailer's blind spot, which I think is really, really cool. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the vehicle and what they've done there. So I'm gonna go ahead and open the door for you, Josh, and kind of show you a couple things. This truck literally just came off of the 18-wheeler or the delivery. And so it's not been PDI, it's not done the pre-delivery inspection or anything like that. But what's cool about SCA Performance is every one of their vehicles gets a bag like this. And inside of it, it comes a couple different things. It comes with the calibrator for the speedometer. If you ever need to change that, that's a pretty cool thing. In addition to that, you can see the warranty information and the product information for the Amp Research power deployable running boards we just talked about. You can see the owner's manual for the actual BFG KM3s we talked about. And this is one of my favorite things. You get it's kind of, well, I don't know. It's kind of neat, but it's also kind of touristy, I guess is the way you would want to word this. But you've got an SCA Performance lanyard. Oh, look at that. It's funny, Bobby Coleman is actually calling me right now. He's our SCA Performance rep. Hey Bobby, hey, I'm actually making a YouTube video on this Black Widow F250. Anything specific I need to talk about? It's awesome. Well, and there you go. That's Bobby Coleman. One of the things, if you have not paid attention to the news, is SCA Performance has actually just been purchased by Fox Holdings, which is the same company that owns BDS and Fox Racing Shocks and a lot of other really big brands. You can expect that pretty much everything to be swapped over to the Fox and the BDS suspension systems that are coming very, very soon. But once again, I've already driven this truck. You're not going to hardly notice much of a difference at all either direction. But back to what we were talking about here, you get the lanyard, and this is really cool. This is what I kind of like. This is a USB stick that actually has SCA Performance on it, and it's got their website on it as well. This is the owner's manual for the SCA conversion. So everything from the warranty guidelines to the recommended maintenance, all of that is stored right here on the flash drive. So make sure that you know what this is and make sure you actually keep this. And if you buy an SCA, hopefully you buy it from our dealership. Shameless plug, our phone number is right there on the screen, and you can see our website as well. But if you buy it from us, make sure that you get this little USB stick. And if you don't buy it from us, that's cool too. We totally understand that. But make sure that you don't get out of there without getting that USB stick as well. So a couple of other cool things that you can see: Pitman torque instructions. You can see actually the what do you call it? The speedometer, where they verify exactly how fast this thing is going. And then you've even got the miles per hour test document where it shows exactly the GPS device is reading that they were going 55 miles an hour compared to the OEM speedometer reading 55. So they're certifying that this vehicle is calibrated to the perfect speed, which I think is extra cool. It's something you definitely need to do. And even on the TC custom trucks that we do here, we also do that exact same thing, because regulatory stuff is very, very important. So back to the features on the inside of the truck, you can see the Lariat F250 is automatically going to come with the seats, and they're leather, and they got the air conditioning or ventilated seats, ventilated seats, in addition to the heated seats. Now, to get the massaging seats, you actually have to step up to the platinum trim level, but nonetheless, they also replaced the headrest with a Black Widow stitched in the headrest. If that's not something that you want, we can actually swap that out, and we can stitch anything you want in that headrest. Or if you have a specific color in mind that you want to match the outside to the inside, you can stitch this in whatever color, whatever name you want to put up there, you can do that. In addition to that, on the actual dashboard of the vehicle itself, you can see that they take off a lot of these trim pieces, they sand them down and paint them to match the exterior of the vehicle. Most of the time you're going to see these are gloss black, but you can have these painted to match your company colors. If you own a business and you want a truck that matches the company, then you can have this sanded pink, purple, sand gray. Literally, their options are endless there. And so that's one of the things that I particularly like on that vehicle. Now, Josh, as you kind of sit down, in the driver's seat, I'm going to show you another cool feature, and that is going to be the instrument cluster. So as you can see, there's a Black Widow logo, or literally a spider in the instrument cluster, which I think is very, very nice. It's classy because it's not too strong or not too prominent. It's just the right amount of flashiness, I guess you could say, because if it was any more, I'd almost be embarrassed to take a customer or a client in a vehicle, but it was very, very tastefully done, I guess you could say. So that's kind of one of the things I wanted to show you on the inside. Let's do this. Let's take a look at this little sticker that is inside the door jamb of every single one of these SCA Performance vehicles. One thing that's really cool is they actually recertified the vehicle with exactly what the gross vehicle weight rating is going to be, the gross axle ratings, and a lot of different things to make sure that you're not going to be towing too terribly much on this particular setup. You want to make sure that you're not going to be violating anything when it comes to towing. And so it's very cool that SCA Performance doesn't just slap a lift kit on these trucks and call it a day. They actually go back in through and recertify everything, and I think that's a really cool feature that they do. So now without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the motors, and so you can see what options are available there. This particular truck happens to have the 6.7 liter diesel. This is the brand new diesel that everybody's been raving about, and as I've already mentioned to you, it's got some increased horsepower and torque numbers. In fact, it's got 475 horsepower at 2,600 RPM, and it has 1,050 pound-feet of torque at only 1,600 RPM. So very, very low RPMs, even for a diesel is concerned. Now, keep in mind, you can get the Black Widow in the 7.3 liter Godzilla motor. That engine is going to be rated at 430 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque at 5,500 RPM and 4,000 RPM respectively. And so that is kind of a quick look at the engine, about the truck itself. And as you can see, I'm 6'3", and you kind of have to jump up there to get the hood. I think that's pretty cool, because if you're going to buy a big truck, buy a big truck. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure, if you're not already, that you hit the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button, so that way you don't miss a single video. Thank you so much for watching this video, particularly. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the comments below, or even more importantly, if you'd like some more information about the SCA Performance brand, feel free to reach out to us. The phone number is right there on the screen, 205-491-0000, or you can reach us on our website, alabamaford.com. And as I've already mentioned to you, it's extremely important. Make sure you stay subscribed with the bell notification so you don't miss a single video.